Okay, so I'm back. It's weird because it's like basically a little after 11 a.m. and I just finished doing another one of these last night at 9 p.m. So yeah, it's funny to be doing it again so quickly, but that's life, and that's when you're emphasizing this level of consistency. This is how it feels sometimes. So I think I feel pretty comfortable about a lot of the things that we talked about yesterday. But I was kind of reviewing one of the things that I was mentioning, and that it was that the drawing of yesterday, and I'll put it up on the screen versus the reference. I said that I had done well on the gesture, and I think that that was true to some extent, that in the sense that I kind of got like the rotation of the head correct. But I think I actually missed a lot of things with like respect to the angle of the head. Like I think it's more this way in the reference than I have it in the drawing. Um, so I think actually what I'm going to do is actually start today with redoing the exact same drawing that I did yesterday and seeing if I can get the gesture a bit closer. So instead of emphasizing process, I'll be almost entirely emphasizing gesture. And I might even do a couple just like Loomis head kind of shapes before I even put in any features, just to like emphasize that direction of looking. So I'll do like one or two of those, probably record them as well. They'll be little, and then I'll move to the actual drawing. And then I'm just gonna redo the drawing the same as yesterday. I'll stop at edges, so I won't put in any halftones, and see if I can get something that's a little bit closer to the reference and more faithful to the gesture and the pose. And I think this is like a really nice exercise. Redoing drawings like sometimes two or three times until you feel like you really have something that you're happy with and is successful. And I think that's like kind of an important mindset when you're developing when you're trying to develop your technical skills a little bit, like the ability to say, okay, this wasn't right, but I'm willing to redo it and reemphasize it. So, okay, I think that's it. I'm gonna just jump into the drawing and we'll talk again after. Okay, so I just finished this drawing. We'll do a little debrief, maybe talk about something. Um, Actually, yeah, well, they're very connected. So I finished this drawing and I'm looking at it now. And I actually don't really like this drawing, especially relative to the one that I did yesterday, even though they're kind of similar. I much prefer the one I did yesterday for some reason, and I need to look at them side by side a bit to understand why that is. I think it has to do just with some anatomy issues, some drawing decisions, some design choices. Um, but that being said, what was I out to accomplish with this drawing today? I was out to try and address some gestural issues from the other drawing and to try and better communicate the pose that I was trying to draw from the reference photo. And in that regard, this drawing is more successful, even though I don't like it as an overall piece of art as much as the previous sketch. It does have better gestural qualities. So the enlightened artist, when sitting down to do some kind of sketching like this, has to put aside, these assessments of whether or not it's a good drawing or a bad drawing, or whether or not they like it or don't like it, and instead assess a practice session on what I sought to do. And in this case, I think it was successful in terms of reinforcing this gesture. And it's kind of like, you know, some analogies are something like weightlifters or people that go to the gym. The quality of the workout is not always assessed by how much weight. Let's say you're trying to get a good workout in, and one day you go and you're doing some kind of movement. I don't know, some kind of bench press where you put the barbell in front of you and push it forward while you're lying on your back, a bench press. You don't reach your maximum weight potential there. You could be stronger, and in the past you've had better, higher weight exercises. But at the end of the day, you have a solid, good workout, and you feel sore the next day, and you feel like you really accomplished a solid workout. That is better than having achieved higher weight, but not feeling as good about the workout afterwards. Kind of, you maybe have to have some familiarity with weightlifting to understand this analogy. But in the art context, as I said, I'm not making an assessment. I shouldn't make an assessment. It's hard to do this, but I shouldn't make an assessment based on whether or not I actually like the drawing or not. But rather, did I accomplish what I set out to in this training session, in this practice session? And in that sense, the gestural qualities of this drawing are better than the previous drawing. And I also think in like the Loomis head drawings that I did, the very first one, actually better than the other two from the video, had some really nice gestural qualities as well and helped me get the pose into better positioning. So I think in the future, I might always do one of these small Loomis head sketches, like just to try and get under the, in a circumstance where I'm drawing a head that's at a kind of more gesturally different angle. If it's a straight on pose or just a classic 3/4, 45-degree pose, it's not really necessary to do to try and understand the gesture. But for these more difficult poses, I think it's something that I'm going to implement. And I might continue to practice that in this series and do some more gestural is. But let's see. Okay, so I think that's everything for today. I'll keep the monologue kind of short, the debrief kind of short, since we just talked a lot last night about some really interesting topics. So that's it for day 5, I guess, and we'll see each other tomorrow.